You need to live your own life and you need to stop living for other people, whether it's your friends, your family, your parents, other people who you don't even really talk to, but you know of their presence. You need to stop living for these people and you need to stop letting these people basically direct where you go with your life. Because there's been so many times in my life where I could have either chose to keep pushing on or chose to like stalemate and stop moving because of all the hate I was getting. I could have let other people's opinions get to me and lead me away from my goal. And I want to go over a few of those examples. So one of them was all last year, my junior year of high school. I started posting TikToks and I got extremely hated on. I got laughed at. I want to go on an example before this. This was during the summer, I think it was of sophomore year. I started posting gym TikToks. I've been lifting for about a year. So I didn't have an amazing physique, but I had a decent physique for being like 15. And I would post these TikToks. And I would get so bullied for them from these kids who went to my gym. I mean, genuinely, I would get so bullied. And there were nights where I would come home crying. But the thing is, I resisted it. And I would still post. So I would get this hate. And this hate would affect me deeply. But I didn't stop. I just kept pushing forward. It was almost fuel to the fire. Another example of this was junior year. I started posting again because eventually a sophomore year I stopped. Maybe the hate got to me, maybe it didn't. Junior year I started posting again. And I got hated on. People hated all my TikToks. People laughed at them. I have videos of my phone of people like making fun of like dumb things like my face, making fun of things I'm talking about. People talking about, oh, he's talking about like he's not actually helping people. The stuff he talks about, he should be telling people this. He should be telling people that. He doesn't help people. He thinks he's helping the world, but no one cares. It took me 1 year to hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. And that period was a hard period. I got hated on. I was seen as cringy. I was seen as like weird. It costed me some social life. It costed me these friendships. There were so many friendships I had. I naturally just like dried up because I chose a different path. And I was viewed as like a little different, a little more like weird, cringy, whatever the word is. And it's interesting because I resisted again in that scenario. I kept pushing forward. I posted day after day, knowing my videos were going to get 10 likes, 5 likes. I posted. Knowing I was going to get laughed at, I posted. And I didn't let it affect me in the incorrect way. It affected me, but it only fueled the fire again. And the beginning of junior year, I had $0 to my name, and I was working at Chipotle. And I hated it. And while I was working at Chipotle, I thought to myself many nights, what am I doing? I meant more for this. My life is much more meaningful than this. So eventually I stopped caring. I worked like less. I worked with less effort, and eventually I got fired. And when I got fired, for me it was a relief because I knew I needed to get out of that. And I knew I was going to start a business. I knew I was going to start making money online. And when I got fired, I stopped making money. So my parents, my dad mostly was like, you need to get a job. You need a job. And I was like, no, I know what I'm doing because I always figure things out. And he was like, oh, you need a job. You're not going to figure it out. You need a job. And eventually I started making money through e-commerce. I made enough to the point where now they don't tell me that. But you're going to get like hated on. I have so many more examples I want to go over. But you're going to have other people tell you their opinions. And you can't let them direct you off the path you're meant to go down. Another one was very recent. It was about a week ago. It was a week ago. So me and my dad and my brother, we went to get sushi. We went to this place to get sushi. We parked in. I drove all of us. And while we were sitting at the table, my dad began to cry. And we talked a bit. And right now, I don't have good grades in school. I never cared about school. I never saw the value in it. My GPA is like a 2.0. because I genuinely just didn't want to put my effort in school. I always throughout high school had something that was so much more meaningful to me than school that I put 100% of my effort into. At first it was the gym, and now it's business. Now it's helping people, posting online, building an income stream. And it's interesting. He started to cry at the table. And I was like, why? He was like, because you're making the same mistakes I did. No, you're doing what I did, and I am now in this position which I don't even enjoy my life. And he was sitting there crying, he was just like sitting there, tears coming out of his eyes. He was like, because you are making these mistakes. And he was like, I made the mistakes you made. I thought everything was going to work out. I thought like school and all this stuff wasn't that important. And now look at me. Now I work 3 jobs. Now I'm in this position in my life. He's like, I thought the same way you did. He's like, I had to put my parents through these bad things. I had to fall back on my parents. They gave me money. He's like, you don't have anything to fall back on, Wyatt. You don't have anything to fall back on. And, it hit me, but it didn't hit me. Because even though he said these things, even though he said that my life looked like his, now he's in a position where he doesn't even enjoy his life, and he wishes he changed his past. And he told me how, he was 30 years old, being a waiter, and he had to miss my first ever Christmas because he had to wait dishes. And I asked him, I genuinely said, what were you doing for the past 10 years before that, from 20 to 30? He's like, well, I don't know. I was just doing the job. And all I could think about was that, just because he's my father doesn't mean I'm going to follow that path. Doesn't mean I'm the same as him. Because I take action. I mean, he thought everything was going to work out, but he didn't take action. Every day I give my all to this, man. I've sacrificed so much just to be in the position where I am today. I had to drop friends. I had to sacrifice social life. I had to sacrifice family life. So many things I've missed. Sacrifice grades, all these things. Sacrifice the relationships, the girls, because I want it, man. Because I understand how severe it truly is. I understand if I don't put my all into it, and if I don't succeed, my life's going to go this certain way. And I put in the work. So all I could think was, well, it sounds like you didn't put in the work. It sounds like you thought everything was going to work out, but you didn't put in the work, like you were living in a delusion. And I almost was thinking to myself, I was like, you don't understand how much I sacrificed to be where I am today. Even a year ago, man, I'm at like 32K followers on TikTok, 1,000. If I could just a year ago imagine that, like, damn. If you told me 6 months ago I was going to be at 32K, I would start crying. Because there were nights, bro, where I was alone in my room and I was crying on my bed because I was like, I wanted to work out. I needed to work out. I need to become successful. What if I don't? What if it doesn't work out? But something in me always knew it will work out. You will become successful. You're in control of your own life. But it's going to happen. You're going to have nights where you lie there crying because your parents are mad at you, or people are laughing at you from your school because you just started posting TikToks, or you just started a business and it's not going well, and everyone's telling you to stop, and they're telling you it's not going to work out, and they're telling you to do this and do that. But you need to be so clear of your path, and you need to live your own life, and you need to set your own rules, and you need to understand that you create your own reality. Because think about it, you were put on this earth. In the second you were born, people started creating rules for you. And you need to reject those rules and create your own rules. Because if you don't, other people will. And I see it happen to so many people. They don't do something, or they stop doing something because of some sort of external voice. They let the hate get to them. They seek external validation. They want to be liked by others. And it limits them to how much success they can actually achieve. So throughout my entire life, I went through struggle, I went through hate, but I had so much resistance to where I knew to keep pushing forward, because in my mind, I always saw the end goal so purely. Even right now, the reason I go at it every day, is because I see the end goal so strongly. It's so clear. And I can get laughed, I can get hated on, I can get mocked. But I just know I'm really gonna make it, you know what I mean? And it's the way life is, the way life goes. Who do you want to be? You know, what do you want your life to be? What do you want your life to be? This is your one existence, you know. It's your one existence on this earth. So, I'm changing my song. So how do you want your one existence to go? You have such a small period in time where in a blink of an eye your life's going to end. How do you want to live that period? Do you want to live it living for other people, or do you want to live it living for yourself? And the key takeaway I want you to get from this is understand. No one believes in you. No one believes in you. Everyone's going to laugh at you. Everyone's going to mock you. Everyone's going to hate on you. They're not going to take you serious. And that's how it is for everyone who starts. It'll be like that for years. Every new thing you start, it will be like that. And then the ball starts to roll. You start to pick up traction. You start to grow. And before you know it, everybody switches. Even for me, you know, it went from laughing at, oh, I hate this guy's TikToks. Oh, this guy's cringe. Oh, this guy's that. Oh, this guy teaches horrible advice. To in a month, I went from being at like 1,000 followers to 30K. DMs, you saved my life. You changed my life. You're so valuable. And sometimes I read those DMs and I cry, I won't lie. Because it gives me purpose. It gives me meaning. It shows that all this work I put in the past years, all the struggle I endured, all the sacrifices I made is finally amounting to something. And the thing it amounts to do isn't even to myself. I don't make money off my TikToks yet. But it amounts to me changing other people's lives. It amounts to me saving a kid's life who maybe he would have killed himself unless he saw my TikTok. Even that slight change, maybe the path he was going down, he starts gooning, he gets into lust, he starts getting into drugs, boom, 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 kills himself. And maybe he saw one of my TikToks and it slightly changed the trajectory of his life. Where he was going down there, he said, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a try. And he changed it, and now happily married, lives a life, follows his purpose, lives his dreams, not a slave to lust. So is it worth it? Yes. Was it worth sacrificing so much? Yes. Even though I'm not even making money off my TikToks right now, it's still worth it. Because if I can leave an impact that's far beyond my own existence, it will always be worth it. And it will be worth it for you too. You need to find something you're so purposeful about that the whole world can hate on you, but you still put one foot in front of the other and go at it every day. So understand you will be hated on. And understand everyone switches quickly. Now, kids talk about how great I am. I can even see it. People treat me differently. It's slight changes. People look at me differently. People almost look at me as like I'm better than them when I'm really not in any sort of aspect of life. I just went through more suffering than they did to be in the position where I am today. People listen to me more. You know, people are kinder to me. And it's crazy how fast the switch is. When people follow the crowd, so when other people see that people like you, they'll start liking you. And they see people don't like you, they don't like you. So you can't let any of that get to your head. You can't let the people that like you get to your head. You can't let the people that don't like you get to your head. You have to stay neutral. But yeah, live your own life. Live your own life on your own terms. Find your own success. Find what wakes you up in the morning. And follow it. Don't let the outside noise distract you from your inner purpose. Don't let the outside noise direct you on a path that's not meant for you. Follow the path that God has already caped out for you, and that you will slowly start to dig up further with your purpose. Thank you.